It is October. Rocktober. Do the damn thing over. I don't know exactly how to make that rhyme, but I'm trying for you guys because this is the month to really get back into your business if you've checked out a little bit, or maybe you're riding the high from September and moving into October with all systems go and really high energy. I wanted to let you guys know, like, October and November, hands down, our best-selling months ever. So really digging in and getting your energy up is what's going to fuel you into this. And so I thought for this week's team call, I would show you guys one tip, and then I was going to shut up and let Tina do the talking, because as you know, and you saw last month, Miss Tina, who is this week's MVP, had almost $13,000 in personal sales last month. And she also recruited, I think, 3 people. So she recruited 3 and had almost $12,000 in sales, or so, whatever it was. It was a stupid amount of sales, and we want to hear her tips and tricks. So I'm going to stop talking in a second. The one thing that I did want to show you guys, let me just consolidate my screen, is a way to optimize your Facebook page for those of you that are really busy. So if you are someone that works a full-time job, or maybe you're like April and you sleep a good portion of the day and you're up at night when other people aren't, there is a way that you can save Facebook content to view later and not muddy up your news feed. It's a feature that I'm going to show you guys right now. I'm going to walk you through it. So let me go to share my screen. Here we are. Sorry if I'm yelling at everybody. I am tired, so I'm trying to keep my energy up. All right, everybody can see my Facebook page now, correct? Somebody just give me a thumbs up. Okay. If I just go to my home page, it's going to just pop up a few things, right? It's just going to start showing me a news feed. Let's just say this post here from Holly with a Y on October the 4th, I really loved this graphic and I want to save it. Well, you could save it to your camera roll and maybe save this text if it was really poetic or something that you wanted to use again into your notes. Or what you could do is click these 3 little dots right here and click Save Post. When you click Save Post, you'll get this saved option, 2 unopened saves for this week, and this option right here, which is Add to a Collection. So I want to create a collection of unique posts. Okay, I could do recruiting posts, I could do training posts, I could do leadership posts. I could really organize the content that I'm seeing by category: food posts, makeup posts, whatever you want to do. If it's from another leader, if it's a training that you want to watch on Instagram that has nothing to do with unique, whatever it is, you can make a bunch of different collections. And then I'm going to hit create. So now this post that Holly made is going to go into my unique collections. So let's just say I'm having a really busy day and I only have 5 minutes to be on Facebook. Instead of trolling through my entire news feed, right? Now I'm going to go to my saved section and it's going to pull up everything that I've ever saved. Now I'm going to be able to go to the different categories. Let's just say I want to make a recruiting post. Well, guess what? I've got a recruiting post from Valentina. I've got a recruiting post from Nikki Simches. I've got a recruiting post in there from Holly. And I've saved all of these over the course of the last few months. So now all I got to do is go into that saved collection and be inspired to recreate that, dust it off, and post it on my page like it was brand new content. Okay. Who's excited about that? That is Facebook organization like a MFing ninja. This is exactly what you want to do if you want to start streamlining your business. Start categorizing the content that you're viewing on Facebook and using your save feature to organize the things that you're watching so that you're not just looking at everybody's cats and dogs and political posts. That's not helping your business. Okay. I really loved this tip and I felt really geeky thinking that I was going to bring it to you guys. So I hope that you find it valuable and I hope that you use it. Does anybody want to talk about that before we move into the sales tips and tricks? Does that sound like anything? Do you guys have any questions, or is anybody already doing this and I'm slow? I thought I was like fresh and then you guys are already doing it. Of course Holly is. Go on, Holly.
I've been using it forever. I have product posts, I have funny stuff, I save all the 90-day sleigh videos because I can never watch them live.
I have big balls.
I've heard, Rob. Thanks.
Yeah, so I love this. I love that you're showing everyone this because I guess I thought everybody knew.
I did not know. I've been doing it the hard
all
way.
the time. All the time. The only thing that happens is sometimes I forget to delete them or unsave them, but I just add new ones in and then I clean it out when I have free time. But yeah, super fun. It's awesome.
Man, well, thanks for that validation that this tip works, because Holly with the Y knows what's up. All right, you guys ready to hear from Tina? Oh, wait, Tina, did you leave us? Oh, there she is. You're muted, babe. Hold on one second. I'm unmuted. Okay. So you guys know Tina had monstrous sales. She is our 5th elite on the Glam Squad. Let's celebrate that for a second. Round of applause for hitting elite status. She did it the hard way. I'm not going to trick you guys. She sold her way there with $12,000 plus. I don't know the exact number. She can tell you of personal sales last month. So I asked her to come to the team and give you guys her top 3 tips for getting sales on that scale. All right, go ahead, Tina.
Well, first off, I'm extremely nervous, and I know I shouldn't be, but I tend to be this way when I know that I need to share something that just kind of came to me. I don't, this last month, and I might get emotional about it, is that my focus was our foundation. And I have a host of family that had been affected, in my entire cousin's family. And so I talked to them about what had occurred with me. I was doing the retreat, and this is like a small thing, but it wasn't, because what happened was it exploded on me. And I found more and more of my family that had been molested and sexually abused. Now that's been my platform. I'm not going to say much more than that, except that that's been my platform. Obviously when I go to my AA groups, it's not focused on that. It's focused on my growth. It's focused on the women's ability to see hope, that they might be able to have something like mine. I don't have a trick. I really don't. It's like literally, and my cousin Chad has his own restaurant, and he has 40 people that works for him, and most of them are females. So Marie, I really can't. I mean, it just like, I want to say something really stupid, but it's not, because I know this is my calling. I know that in so many levels, I am going to be touching women's lives. And I have to say that God is in control of that. He has really been in control of that. So the bones of the matter is, and I wrote notes, and I'm going to be all over the place. That's kind of how I roll. Let's see here. Okay, so I wrote down passion. The one thing, and again, I feel so idiotic sharing this, because it's stuff that I've seen Holly do, Rachel do, everyone's doing, except this is brand new for me. And went for the long time with this unique company, thinking that I wanted to aspire to be something more than I was. But the thing was, I'm not at a status that a lot of you ladies are. I just simply came at it in passion that last 2 weeks, I want to say, of last month, and just say it's like go on the street corners, but it wasn't what I did. So I had to have passion, not just for what unique is, but for who I've been and who I am and my product and how that affects how people are. Now I came in here and, you know, into unique, and I'm going back in history, and I know that I shouldn't, but that's who I am, that I had no confidence level in anything I did. And that included my makeup. Well, I'm using my makeup as a, you know, I wear it and people ask questions. So again, this is just stupid stuff. But let's see, don't force customers to buy beyond what they can afford. So I wouldn't expect them to be able to buy a Ferrari when they don't have the income for that. So what I'm doing is I have my entire purple bag full of samples. I have the 4D, I have samples of the perfumes. I mean, I had everything in my bag. So rather than them saying, well, I can't afford, I'd say, here's this, you know, I brow pencil, whatever, I gave them samples. So again, I'm just like, feel so stupid because I have all kinds of things in my head, but I cannot.
Okay, Tina, so how about I ask you a couple of questions, and maybe that'll help us kind of refine the content and give everybody tangible things, because I agree that your market is special to you and there is no one that's ever going to be able to touch that. Just like my market is special to me, no one is ever going to be able to be another Marie Triplet, but that is not duplicatable. So when we are thinking from a leadership standpoint, which you are and I am as well, what I want everyone to get away from it is something that they can do on their end. So let's reel it back a little bit and talk about how many messages do you think you sent in the month of September?
To be honest, I want to say it's probably close to 500.
You sent 500 messages to ladies that you knew? Were they people you'd never met before? Were they people that you met through doing parties or affiliate links? How did you find 500 people to message?
How did I find them? Well, first off, I had the 100 people and I kept adding to that. And so I want to say, like, towards the end of August, I had, how do I say this? I think at that point I had about 300 that I had just accumulated, first off, from AA. I had a huge list of people that I go to meetings with, and not just them, but I go to about 5 different groups. So just in that, there's about 50 people per group, and it's anonymous. So you know what I mean? So, and then I go to meetings. So mine is just, I have a lot of people that I touch because we're on the same level. It's one alcoholic to another. And so I have to say that's mine, and it's duplicatable for them because that's where they live. And so so there's that. And then there's also the retail. I worked at Fred Meyer's here forever and a day, and I went to every single woman in the truck stand, and I went to every woman in the departments that I knew to see if they would be willing to try the Epic mascara, or if they wanted to do the 4D. And because
So let me ask you this question. Has anybody gone to any local stores like what Tina is saying that she's doing? Has anybody done anything like that? Because I think that that's kind of genius. I've never done that either. So just because you knew them, I mean, great for you, but that doesn't mean we can't go to them. What specific kind of stores were you going to, and what were you saying to them? Like, exactly what were you saying? Give me a script.
Okay. So first off, I started in the cosmetic department. I knew Michelle, and I've known her since 2005. And I told her, I said, Michelle, I told her, I said, I found this amazing company that has enabled me to not have to work full-time or part-time. because I don't. So I said, you know, if you would like to come to my house or we can go out for coffee, how about if we talk about what's happened to me? And I left it at that, besides handing her an Epic mascara. And so from that, I shared what had happened to me, and they knew me. They'd seen who I was, right? So I said, okay, here's where I was, here's where I'm at, and do you have any interest in listening to the whole spiel? And then some of them, I went to their house and they would have 5 or 6 women there. So that's kind of what I did. I just said, hey, this is my story. Is there anything that you have listened that might affect you or hit something that makes you question? Is this like something you might want? Do you want some residual income? Are you just about product and trying it? Are you, you know, so I gave them the spiel without it being like, here's the kits. I just said it in such a way that maybe, because obviously cosmetics is cosmetics, and they have women in there all the time asking for suggestions or, you know, their skin issues or what have you. So I went to them specifically. And then also the home department. I mean, that whole freaking store is pretty much ran by women. And I would just ask them a question. Do you remember who I was back 2 years ago?
I'm just having like a little bit of an epiphany because I mean, there's Sally's Beauty Supply, there's
Yep.
there's the Sephora's, the Ultas, there's Kohl's, you know, where they have the beauty section in Kohl's, there's Target employees. I have
There's Macy's.
never in my life, there's in my neighborhood, we have like a Boscov's or something, I don't know, but they have a beauty department, you know, with Macy's, like Tina was saying, and Sears. I have never once, and probably because I'm a chicken, like walked up to one of those women and asked them if they would be interested in learning about my online beauty business or doing beauty business online instead of what they're doing in the store. Has anybody else done that? I know Tina is rocking my world right now. Has anybody else tried anything like that? No. So this is an untapped market, is what we're all agreeing on right now. And we're going to beat our faces, and then we're going to go marching into the nearest Macy's like on a mission. Anybody willing to do that or no? I'll do it.
I'm game.
So let me add something in regard to that, because MAC is like a #1. I love MAC. So what I would ask, hey, would you be willing to try this against, say, their lipstick? They've got amazing lipstick. Would you like to just try this? So I'm not trying to compete with what they are. I just want to say, hey, what do you think? Is this anything like even close for less money? But the quality, I also included the quality. So, and that wasn't all. Like you said, I went into Sally's, I went into all the salons in Port Orchard, and I left my business cards there. The gal that does my hair, I left catalogs. I brought in eyebrow pencils. I mean, I brought in whatever I could that she could handle that, just to be able to pass it out to her regulars. So, and I knew I couldn't do business in the store, so I would take it out.
Can I ask another question? It like you mentioned giving the girl at the beauty counter an Epic, and now you mentioned brow pencils, and this is not a judgment question. It's just more for practicality. How do we implement this? How much product do you think that you gave away last month?
I want to say at the most $100, because
Okay.
eyebrow pencils and that are $15 a piece, right?
19, yes.
Yeah. So I just had it, and I figured that that's something I can write off. I don't know for sure, but that's what I did.
So
And I
5
took,
eyebrow pencils.
hmm
So 5 eyebrow pencils.
yeah.
And
And
then how
Epic
many mascaras?
mascaras. Oh my gosh, all of last month.
How many did you give away for free?
I want to say about 10.
Okay. I mean, you also had $12,000 in sales and had a lot of Y cash that you could use to pay for those. I was just curious what kind of incentives you were giving to your customers in order to get them to buy. So you said you had a list. Let's circle back to the beginning. You said you had a list. You started with your list of 100. You've added people to it from the groups that you're networking with. For you, that's AA. For anybody listening, it's any groups that you're in. If you're in Halloween groups or food groups or yoga groups or workout groups or diabetes groups, or I'm just naming groups based on people I see, I don't know. Whatever groups you're in, that's essentially what Tina is doing, is networking those groups like a boss. She is in there. She is in that community. She is so deeply embedded that everyone loves her and wants to buy from her. So how do we recreate that? I can do that in all of my Halloween groups. I can recreate that in all of my yoga groups. What group do you guys get into and start making that happen? To build your list, right? We want people that know us, love us, and want to and support us. So then, Tina, when you were messaging people, because you said you sent over 500 messages, what were you saying? Were you specifically asking for purchases to hit a promotion? Did you tell them that you were going for a promotion, or did you just, what were you saying to them?
Yes, I was telling them because what was it? 2 months ago, I had green written on every single mirror, and in my car, and so there was a fire under my butt because I knew I could as often as I had qualified or requalified blue, and I just thought I was going to push it to see how far. So I told him, I said, "Listen, I am." How did I say it? I'm trying to remember. I gave him the spiel about empower and all of that Unique says, and I told him, I said, I have let's see, how much was it? $10,000 in sales that I have to meet, and how would that affect? I mean, how would that be? See, I get all tongue tied. I just use the verbiage of empowering women, the basis of why I was in the company, and I just told him flat out. I told him what my total was a need. And I told my cousin Chad because he's in restaurant business.
Well, and
So,
I also feel like right now you're guarding yourself because you're worried that whatever you did we're gonna judge you for, which we're not. We're literally wanting to hear what you did so that we can start doing it too. So I understand. It's okay if you said, look, girl, I have to sell $10,000 this month. Can you help me? Like, that's a very direct approach, and there's nothing wrong with that. When I'm going for Black status, I'm probably going to use that very approach, and I'm going to message all 6,000 people that follow me, and I'm going to message them directly, and I'm going to say, I need to sell $80,000 this month. Can you help me? If that's what you did, that's great. We just need to know how to push, and what you did had results. So that's why we're asking this question.
so what I did though is so like my cousin, he knew me, so I told him. So I went to like the home department manager. I didn't just like go up to, other than my close friends that knew me and where I was at and how far I'd gone. I didn't hit just like anybody on the street and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I hit managers that I knew that could have an impact in everybody. And because of the cause, I mean, it is incredible crazy. And I know that of women that have been molested. That was my front, Marie. That's where my passion was, and I could share that with them too. So those were the ones I shared it with.
So you're 100% mission focused.
Yes.
So how do you balance the mission with the goal? Because it does feel like 1 second you're saying you led with the mission, and the next minute you told them how much you were looking for your own promotion. So how did you balance that out between the two things? This is where my analytical brain hops in.
So the product and I didn't hear what you said.
So
The product in the,
So one tip that you gave us was to tell them, I have a goal, I need to sell $10,000, can you help me? And then this tip is that you led with the mission. Was it just like a variety? These are the two different techniques that you were using across the board, or how did you
well,
do
yeah.
both of those techniques at once?
So I would introduce myself with that and share it. But what I also did was I used a spiel. Hey, I sell makeup. And I did the thing of, 100% naturally based products. I introduced that way. Plus I was handing out samples, Marie. I was handing out lucratives and things that I knew that wouldn't hit me too hard. So I just, it was a double thing depending on the conversation. That's all I can say. And for here's the deal. This is a network, right? We're a network marketing, except there's a lot of people that do not want to get online. And so I told him that I'll be your fronts person. And I kept bringing samples. So to me, the two mix, depending on the company, I have to be very intuitive about who I'm talking to as to how I share that. That's where I believe it's like we think one shoe fits all, and it doesn't. And so, like, I've got people in it's like I wouldn't tell them I wouldn't say, hey, you need to buy this whole kit, you probably can't afford it, but here's what you can do as an option. So I hit people's needs right where they're at. The ones I knew that would have a larger base, like my cousin, then I offered different. I presented it in a way that they would understand. So I think it's really important, at least for this chick, that I find people where they're at and offer them that at the point. And then I build. I think that building is the way I'm going to be able to produce. But it was a tidal wave at the restaurant.
So can I ask you then, how do you know where they're at? So you keep saying, like, I just message them where they're at. How do you know that? Or like, do they tell you that in advance? Do you ask if they have a budget? How are you determining what to offer them? Is it like just like you
I know them.
Oh, you know, so you know their financial situation in all of those cases?
Well, and the managers, to me, that is the forefront of where I've been. And then I would walk around in the departments that I knew that I would have an impact. I went to Sally's. I knew people there. I mean, that's why I'm saying this is absolutely, let me look at my notes again because I go way off kilter.
Well, my question is, how do you determine what a customer can and can't afford? Because you're making a suggested shopping list from what you were saying. Like, how do you suggest certain products to certain customers? What is your process for that?
My process is to say, hey, are you happy with, say, I mean, so I'll present it. I love your lipstick. What are you using? Can I offer this to you? Can you try it? Try it. I want to see you in a week. See how you're doing. The rest of them, I didn't need much more than the manager to talk to about where they were at. The women online, I know them. That's all I can say is I know them, except at Chad's restaurant. So there's no major thing that I can pinpoint that I haven't done that you guys haven't. Product knowledge is another thing. I can't go offer something I'm not aware of or what it's for. Go ahead,
Yes,
Marie.
April wants to ask a question.
Yes, April.
I have a bunch of questions. I'm just soaking this all in, and my brain is going a mile a minute. So what you're telling me is that you're buying lipsticks out of pocket and taking them with you and walking up to people and saying, I love your lipstick. Would you be willing to try mine and get back to me in a week? And you just give them a lipstick?
Or my Y cash. It just depended.
That was just the first half of that question. But yes, that's basically what you're doing. How many of those people that you're handing your business card and a lipstick to are actually purchasing on the back end after trying the lipstick for a week?
So
Not a lot.
I don't know that you've seen that all my sales came like in a flood at the end of the month. So it was accumulation.
Girl,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm in my own damn world. I saw
No,
your
I
sales
get it.
and I was just like, what? What?
You're
That commercial, that's
you're in a
freaking,
different
what?
space. Yeah.
So that was my first question was, so you're basically using your Y cash to get lipsticks, and then you're basically going and saying, oh, you're paying a compliment to people you know, not strangers. Okay. Then you're giving them and saying, try this for a week and let me know what you think. But you're not pressuring them to buy. They're coming back and buying on their own, is what is happening, basically.
I do a follow-up the
No,
week
I
later.
understand that. Follow
Yeah.
up, very clear. But that just
Yeah.
because you follow up with somebody, because 90% of the people I know will be like, girl, I just got me a free lipstick. Why would I order more makeup? Like, what else are you
Because
going to give me for free? You know what I mean? That's just the economy and the environment that I live in.
So then the
So,
question is that April's asking is when you follow up with these people that you've given free products, because you guys using your Ycash to give free product to customers is a great idea, but what are you doing in the follow-up? How are you keeping track of these people? I don't want to be unintentional. I don't want to just be willy-nilly handing out lipsticks everywhere. So
exactly.
are you keeping a list? Are you, and then if you are keeping a list, how are you following up with them? Because I want to add this to you guys. If you're buying lipstick to give away, you can return it within 14 days for a full refund. So if you did that, it's not a terrible idea. You just want to be careful that you're not doing it too much. But if somebody didn't want it within 7 days, which is what Tina is saying, she gives it to them and says, you have 7 days to try this out. Hello, we have a 14-day love it guarantee. You could still technically return that on behalf of the customer if they didn't love it. So while it does feel a little risky what Tina is saying, she's smart in that she said, I only give them 7 days. Because
Okay, so then
got 7
you
more
would
days.
just return the lipstick, or you would then charge them if they do love it and hope that they pay you. Because, I mean, they already have the product in hand.
So that's the question, Tina. What is your follow-up process when you tell them that they only have 7 days?
well, this
And
can
that
really
wasn't
sound.
my only question, so I'll
Go
let you
ahead,
answer
Rachel.
that one.
Go ahead.
No, answer that one, and I'll keep going.
Okay. So it wasn't just a factor, okay, I'm going to do this. I want to say probably 12 parties after that. And so, and I started with just the basics. I had the skincare, so I had samples of that. I mean, I did everything that I would normally do for a party. So that was my follow-up a week later, but I had a calendar. I wrote down the names. I asked them for the names of the women that were going to be coming. So that was where I got the brunt of my sales, was my parties.
Okay, but
And
we want to
virtual
know specifically when you were giving away your free product, how were you following up with people?
I would go in a week later, and sometimes I would leave that with them. I did not take away their product because most of them I kept eyeliner, I kept eyebrow pencils, I kept Lucratives, and I kept Epic my purse. I gave that as a gift. I didn't require it back. Those are the ones, see, I believe this is really important. It's no different than any one of you, is I created trust in them about that. Hey, if she's willing to do that, then why not try more? And that's where the parties came in, was through that. And, you know, Chad, frickin' A, I don't know how many franchises that he owns. I didn't have to say a word to him because he was promoting my goal of $10,000. So totally different things. But in those 12 parties, I probably got, I want to say a total of probably 20 orders was having a follow, you know, from just having, see, I'm just not articulating. So, and I'm not. I figured I'm a great speaker, but I'm not when I put on the spot. I don't have, even with my nose. So if that makes sense, I do not know.
So then my next question, is so I have literally, before I sold Unique, I sold Posh, and I'm sure a lot of you know what Posh is. So when I was doing Posh, I was making my own samples, and I would literally go to businesses around here and leave catalogs and leave little sample bags with my business card in them. And I would give away those samples with my business card in the hopes that somebody would order, buy, whatever. But I do know for a fact that I have gone to some businesses and I've literally been asked to leave the premises because they have a no third party vendor clause, and you're not allowed to leave pamphlets, you're not allowed to leave business cards, you're not allowed to leave. And that's really put offish. And I really think that if this is something that we are all going to pursue, that it would probably be more ethical to go in and speak to a manager and say, would it be okay if I do this? Or could I leave my card here? Could I leave some samples here? Because I just don't want anybody to get burned like that, because that's like a smack in the face when they're like, what are you doing? Like, you have to leave the premises. You can't be here doing this. Like, we don't want you, like even like ShopRite. If the Girl Scouts want to have a cookie sale out in front of ShopRite, like they have to sign a liability waiver. They have to go through a shit ton of red tape in order to do that. And I'm just my own personal thought. I don't think Macy's with a beauty counter would be like, sure, come on in and sell your Unique, because you know what I'm saying? That they sell makeup. The Ulta sells makeup. They're not going to be like, yeah, sure, come in, hand out some mascara and makeup. Like,
Well, and I don't think what Tina was saying was that she was trying to sell in those spaces. I think what Tina was saying is that she's networking with the managers because they're in the beauty industry. They have big networks. They're really good people to know, and
well, yeah.
they love the product. Then they might say, well, we sell this one, but maybe they sign up for it and maybe they become a presenter, and then maybe they're kind of working their business with their customers that they meet because of their exposure. I think
Exactly.
correct me if I'm wrong, Tina, but what I think you were saying is that you were actually like making friends with the managers and really building relationships with the leadership position, and as a result they were trickling it down as a recommendation.
Well, that was what my cousin did. The managers I knew, like in Fred Meyer, I knew from working there. And that was the point I made about that I could not sell in the store. I knew that, which is why I offered a sample, an Epic, to them to take home. I knew I couldn't leave those there because of the reasons that April was talking about. Although I never had any trouble leaving business cards or catalogs as long as I left them. I mean, I could bring my own name card holder and that was perfectly fine. Or, how many tanning companies there are here? Starbucks. I've made a lot of business through Starbucks just because, I'm there every day. I get coffee, but in the tanning tanning booths, I go there almost every day. So, and it is the managers that have to give the approval, and it's outside the company. It cannot be in the company. The ones at Macy's and Nordstrom's, the same story because of the liability. So I made friends with them, I want to say, since the end of, like Maureen was saying, the end of January last year, as much as my confidence would allow me to do. I've had makeovers in Nordstrom's, Macy's, and different places for that very reason, right? So that is extremely important. None of them made me sign a liability thing at all with them. So I haven't experienced that.
And different markets are going to ask for different things. So Tina is in Washington State. April is in New York. So,
Baldwin County.
we're talking apples and oranges, and it is not going to be, I understand why some of what Tina is saying, April's like, this isn't going to work. Well, that's
Yeah, like
you guys are on opposite ends of the country with completely different demographics and completely different markets. The idea here is that we were at least trying to extrapolate whatever we could from Tina in her chase to green. And if it applies to anyone on the team, wonderful. And if it doesn't, okay, at least we examined it. And that's where we are right now. I'm hoping that maybe someone found some inspiration from Tina, and then now maybe you're going to at least try your Ulta, you're going to try your Sephora, you're going to reach out to the nail salons. I just wrote down a couple of things: the Macy's, get to know the managers, offer free product to people that you deem worthy, and create a follow-up plan with them so that, you know, in a week, you know how to reach them if you gave them something for free. I wish Sherry Savage was on here, because Sherry Savage became a presenter because her sponsor gave her a free mascara. Her sponsor said, I just joined this company. Here's a free mascara. Sherry Savage tried it, fell in love with it, and then signed up as a presenter immediately after because the kit was so good. Hello, have you guys seen the new kit? We should all be doing happy dances right now, because there's no reason why we can't be adding people at this point. Sherry Savage became a presenter because she tried a free mascara, she fell in love with it, and then she signed up for the kit because the kit was such a good deal. She couldn't justify buying another mascara when she could get $450 worth of product for $99. Okay, so there is some benefit to strategically giving away free product. Who on your list would be good if they tried it? Maybe start a list of one person. Maybe think of one person that would be like the best of the best of the best and give them a free mascara. I don't know. Maybe just try it.
What about, you know, the others is a fitness. My daughter-in-law works in a West Coast fitness place. So you look at the markets for that too. You've got wellness, anything regarding that, and that's where I selected it. I cannot tell you, I see a lot of women leaving, and I feel like I've not filled the cup of what it was I was intending to say. But it's really important for me that I meet people where they're at, and I do not try to sell them something they don't want. I just offer it to them, and if they want it, they want it, and if they don't, they don't. But like I said, the brunt of my sales came through Chad, my cousin, and his restaurants, because he knew my goal. And that's, I was telling Rachel, I'm tired. I didn't even take their addresses. I just wrote them up, sold it over the line, and just went on to the next one. But I was exhausted as many phone calls I was getting from Chad. He said, I got another one. And it's like sight unseen. So to me, that one was left, I have no idea how that one's going to turn out once they get the product. There's no guarantee. You know, most of those people I don't have addresses for, you know, they're across different towns. So that is that's why I'm like, I don't know. You know, I'm not doing anything different, better than any of the other gals in here. I picked up what I got, and I just created it in my own self. Whether it works for somebody else, great. And if it don't. But
Well, I think this is very valuable information on a variety of different levels. I want you guys to know that what she shared can be super valuable, and I hope that you want to take it. It's also important to know that as you're moving through these promotions, those of you that are chasing promotions, whether it's pink, whether it's blue, green, orange, whatever, that as we move through it, we are paying attention. Success leaves clues. We need to pay attention because this business is about duplication. So everything that we do, we need to figure out, how do we hand that over? Imagine if Tina could give her formula to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on her team. Guess what she would be? Black status. If she could create this language and give it to people. Let them like make a formula. She would be black status. Okay. So Tina, I'd love for you to do some reflecting, because I think that there's more to your story than you understand. I get it. You're tired. I get it that month was a whirlwind. I've been in all of those places before. As Purple, we had to sell 40,000. So trust me, I get being in a whirlwind. But as a leader, you will want to digest your formula and figure it out, because the quicker you can duplicate that, the quicker you can get to the top. And anyone that's pushing through this business, you should know what you did to get to pink, because it's going to take what you did plus some to get to blue. And you should know what you did to get to blue, because it's going to take what you did plus some to get to green. And if we can't audit ourselves, audit what we did, then we're poking holes in the dark. We need to be intentional. We need to move forward with a clear plan. So that's what we take away from this, right? Like, she ran like her hair was on fire, is what she's saying. I don't know what to tell you, because I was running like my hair was on fire. That's normal. Intelligent leadership says, how do we recreate this and give it back to my team so that they can do it? And I want you to think about that as leaders.
I just want to say, one of my biggest motivators was Rachel, because I knew she didn't, and she was, as in my opinion, in kind of black to white or white to black or whatever, where completely nobody would have figured that I would be sitting today where I'm at. And if it hadn't been for Rachel showing that it was possible, because Tim could have left me stranded. I could have been on the street. I could have been on welfare, all those things. And I saw her pushing through all of that, and the difference between point A to point B. And Rachel, and Marie, you challenged me. You made me think. You made me figure it out. April, every single one of you on the team has had such a major impact in small ways that has completely changed the way I look at my company. And it's not just a company, it's a way of life. And I'm going to probably keep changing that. But I have all the girls that are currently here. We haven't been able to do it yet, but my intention, I've got 3 already that said they weren't going to buy, that now they want, or now they want to sell, not just buy, but sell.
Tina, I just have to say, I think that's the best tip you've given. I think leaning into the team is how you excel. Leaning into the amazing leaders that we have on this team. We've got Holly with a Y. We've got Rachel. We've got April. We've got Amber. We've got Sherry. This team is primed to go all the way. I am so proud to have so many aces in this deck. We are stacked, okay? So if you're feeling a little outside of the edge, lean into the team. Link arms with adjacent Y sisters. They will help naturally pull you up to the next level. Lean into them, okay?
Walk through fear.
Well, this sisterhood is designed to help you thrive. And I think that everyone cares about your success. So Tina said several times, this is going to sound silly and I can't articulate it, but I do think that, Tina, I wanted to say thank you. You gave us some good nuggets. I think that there's going to be something, if people actually sit down and process it, that they can implement into their business. So thank you and congratulations for being green status.
Weird. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you guys, I love you. This month is the primer for next month. We are going to plant seeds today, reap hella amazing rewards next month. So get your game faces on. Let's put the pedal to the metal and let's do something amazing.
I'm bringing my whole team to Terrytown to see your ass next week. So y'all better y'all better be bringing some fire for November. You too, Rachel. I didn't forget about you.
October. Yeah, that's next week.
Next week, Terrytown.
Oh, Nancy, are you going to be there too?
Yes, I'm gonna get my ticket. I'm going.
She's going because
I'm
she's
going.
meeting
If I
me.
want to go places, I gotta go.
Yes, Nancy, April, Rachel, me. It is about to go down in the NYC. I love you guys. I can't wait to squish you next week, and I will talk to you all on the next team call.